Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Mudachate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Isavasyamidam Sarvam Yatkincha Jagaccham Jagat Tena Chaktena Punjita Magridaha Kashatitanam Kurvane Vaha Karmani Jajivishakshatam Samaha Ivam Twaye Nanyate Tosti Nakarma Lipyate Nare Asurya Namate Loka Andina Tamasta Vrita Tamste Precha Vigachanti Ekachat Mahanojana. Now we're on mantra number 4. You can repeat Anijadekam Manaso Javio. Oh, Haribo.
Ani
Ekam manaso javiyo.
Naina Devam Apnuvam Purvam Arshat.
Naina deva apnuvan purvam arshat.
Tadyavato Nyanate Titistat.
Tadavato jnanati tistat.
Tasminapo Matarishvata Dalati.
Tasminnapo matarishvadadati.
All right. So this morning, or earlier today, we were speaking about Atmaha. Remember?
Yeah.
Yes. What is Atmaha?
killer of Atma, killer of soul.
So how do you kill the soul? I thought the soul cannot be killed.
If we do not utilize the opportunity given by Krishna to achieve the love of Godhead, and if we indulge into other activities, other material activities, and lose their opportunity, that is like killing the soul by self. Hare Krishna.
Okay. To neglect the interest of the soul, right? Hare Krishna. Yes, if we neglect the interests of the soul, then that is like killing the soul. So we have to know how to take care of the soul. So how do we take care of the soul? What does the soul need? Someone like to say, what is the need of the soul?
Harinam.
Harinam. Yeah, the holy name.
Do the prescribed duty.
Hmm? Yeah,
Do the
what is-
prescribed duty.
Breaking the cycle of birth and death.
Breaking the what?
Breaking the cycle of birth and death.
Breaking the cycle, getting free from the cycle of birth and death. Why? Why do you want to do that?
So that the soul can reach the abode of Lord.
Well, is this material world not the abode of God?
It is not. It is full of miseries. Material world is full of miseries.
Well, I thought for the pure devotee, they see God everywhere. I thought God is everywhere, is he not?
Yes, God is everywhere.
So, why do you need to go there? He's here.
Because that is our original home and to serve Krishna.
Why do you want to serve Krishna? We said Krishna's everywhere. He's here also, right? You can serve him here. No, but not. Lord Chaitanya said he doesn't want liberation. He says, I just want devotional service, birth after birth.
Personal association of Lord.
Yes, so don't you get association of the Lord here? Prahlad Maharaj,
Guru Maharaj, we will be getting free. We will be getting freed from the influence of the modes, so that we will be able to fully devote ourselves to the service of the Lord.
Well, you can do that here.
The human is to serve God, so we can serve him anywhere if we develop the consciousness that we see him everywhere, Ishavasam. So the question comes out as the human form is the only form through which we can go back to Godhead. And if we don't utilize that, then we are wasting our life.
Okay, yeah. You have a valuable human. We have the value of the human life is that we can use it to become God conscious. Of course, we can become God conscious everywhere. Here also, Lord Chaitanya said, therefore, I just want devotional service, birth after birth. And Prahlad Maharaj said, he's not worried about himself. He said, wherever he goes, he can chant the holy name. No need to go there. Can do that here. So, devotee, we cultivate the Ishavasya spirit. Feel God in the center. So God's in the center, no need to go anywhere else. He's here, he's in the center. We keep him in the center of our life, in the center of our activities. So we're fine here. This is, Prabhupada said, this is Vrindavan, this is the spiritual world. He was sitting in New York, he said, I'm not in New York. He said, I'm in Vrindavan, I'm always in Vrindavan. So that's one way for the pure devotees. Take it like that. Keep yourself always Krishna conscious. On the other hand, yeah, you like to go back to Godhead, that's okay. Yes, you can have more personal connection with the Lord. You can maybe take part in his pastimes and have more intimacy with him, directly serving him. Maybe we don't get that opportunity so much here because he's more aprakat. But in the spiritual world there, he's prakat. Right? So, anyway, Krishna consciousness, the Ishavasya mood, Ishavasya spirit, that's very much required. And when we work in that spirit, then we'll feel the effects. The effect is no influence of the modes of nature, no anxiety. We should, well, of course, there's also anxiety also in the spiritual sense. There's anxiety for Krishna, right? And gopis were always anxious for Krishna. When Krishna was taken in the coils of the Kaliya serpent, then all the people of Vrindavan were in anxiety. That Krishna's in the coils of Kaliya, and he was held in the bottom of the water in the Yamuna for a long time. And they thought Krishna must be dead. They were all in great anxiety. They were collapsing. They were all totally in fright and so much worry about Krishna. Of course, that separation from Krishna, that is perfection. Krishna arranged that separation to increase their ecstasy, because the devotees, they feel the ecstasy of separation, and then feeling the separation, it allows them to feel greater ecstasy when there's union. So when Krishna came out from the coils of Kaliya, then the people of Vrindavan all rejoiced and they felt greater ecstasy. So like that, there's ecstasies. Okay, anyway, let's go on. We're on this fourth mantra now, and we're going to hear about the personality of Godhead. We've heard about how he's the controller. So we're going to hear more about his characteristic and his qualifications, why he's so wonderful. So we'll invite Mataji to begin reading tonight. Maybe we can have his Bhakti Shreya Parvati. Is she here tonight?
No, Maharaj. She has just left because of her connectivity problem. Just now she left, Maharaj. She will join back later.
What about Rasapurnama? Nima?
Yeah, she is there. Mataji is here, Maharaj.
Read the translation.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Maharaj. Although fixed in his abode, the personality of Godhead is swifter than the mind and can overcome all others running. The powerful demigods cannot approach him. Although in one place, he controls those who supply the air and rain. He surpasses all in excellence.
Okay, so we're hearing some details about the Lord. First of all, he has an abode, right? He's fixed in his abode. He has his place there. But at the same time, we hear some different things he does, his activities, swifter than the mind, can overcome all others running. Demigods cannot approach him. He's in one place, but he controls those who supply there. He surpasses everyone in excellence. Okay, go ahead, Mataji, read the purport, first paragraph.
Yes, Maharaj. Through mental speculation, even the greatest philosopher cannot know the Supreme Lord, who is the absolute personality of Godhead. He can be known only by his devotees through his mercy. In the Brahma Samhita 5.34, it is stated that even if a non-devotee philosopher travels through space at the speed of the wind or the mind for hundreds of millions of years, he will still find that the absolute truth is far, far away from him. The Brahma Samhita 5.37 further describes that the absolute personality of Godhead has his transcendental abode, known as Goloka, where he remains and engages in his pastimes. Yet by his inconceivable potencies, he can simultaneously reach every part of his creative energy. In the Vishnu Purana, his potencies are compared to the heat and light that emanate from a fire. Although situated in one place, a fire can distribute its light and heat for some distance. Similarly, the absolute personality of Godhead, although fixed in his transcendental abode, can diffuse his different energies everywhere. Haribol.
Okay, so mental speculators. What are they trying to do? Mataji, you can tell us. So can you tell us something about what does it mean, a mental speculator?
Mental speculation means, Maharaj, according to me, I don't know whether I'm right or wrong, but the Mayavadis, they think that there is no form of the Lord for Krishna. So that may be a mental speculation.
Well, that might be their speculation, but in general, what does it mean if someone's a mental speculator? What are they doing? It speaks for itself. It means that they're trying to understand the nature of everything by the power by the power of what? How are they trying to understand everything?
Mind.
Yes, by the mind, right?
Mind.
By the mind, yeah, okay.
Yeah, they use their mind. What should they use to understand everything?
They should
we-
use the intelligence to know what is right and what is wrong, to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Where do we get the intelligence from? Where do we get intelligence from?
Intelligence through
Scriptures.
Yes, right, through the scriptures, right.
Scriptures. Okay.
Yeah. Want to understand God, we have to hear about him from the scriptures. And we can also hear from who else?
From the bona fide spiritual master who
Yeah.
knows about Krishna.
And anybody else?
Pure devotees.
Yes, Sadhu, Shastra, and Guru, right? They're our guide. The sadhus, the holy men, the Shastra, scriptures, and Guru, the spiritual teachers. And so the mental speculators, we may call them as Gyanis. Gyanis, they cultivate knowledge and they try to understand everything through the mind. So sometimes Prabhupada will say we should, like here, it says mental speculators, they cannot understand the Supreme Lord. But in other places, Prabhupada says we should try to understand the Lord by speculation. But how should we speculate? Are we allowed to speculate as devotees? No? What do you say? Is a devotee allowed to speculate?
No.
He is. He's allowed to, but he has to be guided by Shastra. When he does his speculation, he should try to understand the Shastra. Sometimes you have to speculate. Prabhupada gave an example. He said, just like Krishna says, I am the taste in water. So we may want to understand, how is it Krishna is the taste in water? So we can speculate, but guided by Shastra. And we have to support our conclusions with the evidence from Shastra. Otherwise, it's no use. Everything has to be backed up with knowledge from the scriptures. That's very important. So great philosophers, they cannot know the Lord. Why not? Why can they not know? They're so great, if they're great philosophers, why they cannot understand the Supreme Lord? Yes, anybody know? Do you know the answer? Why the great philosophers cannot understand the Lord? Please, somebody, what do you say?
Because Lord cannot be understood by speculative modes, and us, we are under the three modes of nature. Our intelligence is limited, basically.
Yeah, we are limited. Is the Lord limited?
No.
Lord is unlimited.
No. Right, he's unlimited. So if we are limited, we cannot understand what is unlimited. So it's beyond the power of our mind and senses to understand him. You know, can you ask the devotees if they're not speaking, if they can close their mic? If they're not taking part in the conversation, better they close their microphones. So we don't get disturbed. So how we can understand Krishna? How we can understand God if he's so unlimited?
By Shastra, Prabhuji, Maharaj.
By Shastra. Yeah, well, yes, we can read the Shastra, but
Through the Lord's authorized representatives.
yeah, the Lord's representative. Here, Prabhupada, what does Prabhupada say? Prabhupada says he can be known only by his devotees through his mercy. right? Through the mercy, by the mercy of who? By the mercy of devotees, right? Through the mercy, not only by his devotees, through his mercy. So we know Krishna through the devotees, and devotees know Krishna through his mercy. So the mercy of the Lord. Krishna is great, he's infinite, he's very powerful. But if he wants to, he can reveal himself to his devotees, right? He will only reveal himself to his devotees. He doesn't reveal himself to other people. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Naham prakasha sarvatma yoga maya samavrita muduyam navijanati lokoyam ajamavyayam. Krishna said, I am never manifest to foolish and unintelligent people. For them I am covered by what? What is Krishna covered by?
Yoga Maya.
Yes, right. He's covered by Yoga Maya. Yoga Maya covers up Krishna, and they think Krishna's an ordinary person. Some people, the foolish people, they think, oh, Krishna died. He got shot by an arrow in the foot. The hunter shot Krishna in the foot with an arrow, and Krishna died. This is what they think of Krishna. This is the foolish people. Please, you mute your mic. Don't speak like that. You know, disturb the class. You know, this is an English class. If you're going to say something, please speak in English so we can all understand. It will be good for the class. We'd like you to contribute to this class. But if you speak your own language, Malayali or whatever, you know, I can't understand. I don't know what you're talking. All right, so he can be known by mercy. We need to get Krishna's mercy, right? We're always trying to get the mercy of Krishna. And we get the mercy of Krishna through his devotees. The devotees, they give the mercy of Krishna. We're singing every morning, by the mercy of the spiritual master, we get the mercy of Krishna. And without the mercy of the spiritual master, then there's only havoc on the path of self-realization. So we get, the Lord can reveal himself if he wants, and he does. He reveals himself to his devotees, but not to the non-devotees. And Prabhupada quotes Brahma Samhita, non-devotee philosopher, travels at the speed of the wind or the mind for hundreds of millions of years. Still you'll find the truth is far, far away from him. Absolute truth. You see, we're not speaking here about God. Prabhupada uses these terms. He said the concept of the absolute truth is better than the concept of God. Because if we speak about God, there are many gods. Which God? Oh, my God, your God, India God, China God. There are many gods. But Prabhupada puts it on the absolute platform, the absolute truth, far, far away from him. So this concept of the absolute truth, this should be understood. The absolute personality of Godhead. And then Prabhupada talks about his transcendental abode. He has an abode, he has a place, indicating he's a person. He's not just simply some energy, some impersonal aspect, but he's a person, and he has his own place, he has his own residence where he resides, and it is called Goloka. And he stays there, engaging in his pastimes by his inconceivable potencies, right? Inconceivable to us. But the Lord can reveal what is inconceivable by the Lord's mercy can be revealed to us. He can simultaneously reach every part of his creative energy. So creative energy What would that indicate? What is being referred to there? Every part of his creative energy. Anybody has like to say, tell us what is that? Every part of his creative energy. What is being referred to? Balaram Prabhu, do you know?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Maharaj is referring to the internal potency energy and maybe marginal energy and Maharaj.
He's referring to the internal potency.
Yes.
And what else?
And external potency.
Yeah, right. He's referring to his creative energy. Every part of creative energy. It means the material world. The whole material world is his creative energy. The spiritual world is also his energy. So then Prabhupada quotes Vishnu Purana, the heat and light from a fire. One place, they're in one place, but the fire can distribute heat and light for some distance. In the same way, the absolute personality of Godhead is in his abode, but he can diffuse his energies everywhere. Just like the heat and the light spread everywhere. So the Lord's energies are also spread everywhere. All right, we'll go ahead. We'll have another Mataji read for us here. Let's see who's not read yet.
Bindya Mataji.
What about Deepriya Gopalani? Deepriya Gandharvika. Deepriya Gandharvika.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yes.
Yes, Maharaj.
Are you a Gandharva?
No, Maharaj.
You're a Gandharvika. Very good. You're so fortunate, such a nice name. Please read for us. Although his energies
are innumerable, they can be divided into three principal categories: the internal potency, the marginal potency, and the external potency. There are hundreds and millions of subheadings to each of these categories. The dominating demigods, who are empowered to control and administer such natural phenomena as air, light, and rain, are all classified within the marginal potency of the absolute person. Lesser living beings, including humans, also belong to the Lord's marginal potency. The material world is a creation of the Lord's external potency, and the spiritual sky, where the kingdom of God is situated, is a manifestation of his internal potency.
Thank you. Would you like to summarize some points from this paragraph for us? What did you understand?
Yes, Maharaj. The Lord's energies are innumerable, and they are divided into the three main categories. The first one is the internal potency. The second one is the marginal potency, and the third one is the external potency.
So the internal potency, what is that? What does that cover?
The spiritual, the kingdom of God,
Yes.
the spiritual sky.
Right, yes. The spiritual world, right? In the spiritual world, how many planets are there? Any idea?
26.
Innumerable.
Innumerable, right. Innumerable planets in Vaikuntha, right? What's the supreme planet in the spiritual world?
Golok.
Goloka, right, yes. Right, okay, Goloka. And then we've got the marginal potency, which means what?
Jivas.
The demigods who are empowered to control and administer the natural phenomena such as air, light, rain.
Anybody else? Only demigods are the marginal potency?
Living beings such as humans also.
Okay, human beings also belong to the marginal potency. What about the animals and plants?
The external potency.
Really? They don't have a soul?
They do.
Huh?
They do.
They do, right? So?
Yes.
So what potency are they? Hmm?
Marginal.
Yeah. So marginal.
Yeah, the marginal potency. All the living entities are marginal potency, right?
Yes, Maharaj.
That means all the animals, the plants, the trees, the fish, the birds, they're all souls. And so they're all part of the marginal potency. And the demigods also. It's amazing, isn't it? And what about the material, the external potency then? What is that?
The material world.
Manaji, may I go ahead, Manaji, speak?
The material world.
Yes, right, the material world. What's the material world made up of?
The 14 planetary system.
Yes, the 14 planetary system. Can you tell me what the elements are which make up the material world?
Hare Krishna, the Panjabhuta.
It starts from Brahmaloka, and the Earth is the middle planet, and it ends with the hellish planets.
Okay, you're describing the universal structure for me, but I want to know what elements are actually used by the Lord to create.
Air, water, space.
Five elements.
Yes.
Earth, water, fire,
24.
air, ether.
Yes, and anything else?
Mahatattva.
Mind, intelligence.
Yes, right.
Mind, intelligence, and ego.
24.
And false ego.
Mind, intelligence, false ego.
Is mind, intelligence, and false ego, is that there in the elements of the material world? Do we find this mind, intelligence, and false ego in the material energy? In the elements of the material energy, do we find that? In inner matter, are we going to find mind, intelligence, and false ego?
No.
No, right?
No.
So the five elements.
The table doesn't have any mind or intelligence or false ego.
No.
What's the difference between the material energy and the marginal potency? What makes the difference?
The consciousness.
Yes, thank you. Consciousness, right? There's no consciousness in the elements of the material energy. Your car, your table, your chair doesn't have any consciousness, right? So there's no mind, there's no intelligence, false ego either. There's no consciousness. Consciousness, of course, comes from where? Where does the consciousness come from? Does it come from the mind, the intelligence, and the ego? Where does consciousness come from?
Atma.
It comes
from the soul, right? Consciousness comes from the soul. So the material world is the creation of the Lord's external potency. spiritual skies, the kingdom of God. Okay, we'll go ahead. Let's have somebody else read. Who's next? We've got somebody. What about Sri Rupa? Is she here?
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay. Would you like to read for us, Maharaji, please?
Yes, Maharaj. Thus, different relations of the Lord are present everywhere. Although the Lord and his energies are non-different, one should not mistake these energies for the supreme truth. Nor should one wrongly consider that the Supreme Lord is distributed everywhere impersonally or that he uses his personal existence. Men are accustomed to reaching conclusions according to their capacity for understanding, but the Supreme Lord is not subject to our limited capacity for understanding. It is for the reason that the Upanishad warns us that no one can approach the Lord by his own limited potential.
All right. So would you like to summarize the message of this paragraph?
Yes, Maharaj. So here it is mentioned that Lord and different energies are present everywhere, and the Lord and his energies are non-different. So, and no point that we should not mistake like the Lord is.
I don't know. Your voice is not very clear. Is there something? Is it maybe your microphone or something? Are you? I don't know. I can't hardly hear what you're saying.
Sorry, Maharaj. Am I audible now?
Yes, much better.
Maharaj, here Prabhupada is saying the Lord's energy present everywhere. And Lord, there is no difference between Lord and his energy. And Lord is also not impersonal. He has a personal form.
Okay.
And
so does he have an impersonal form? Does he have an impersonal feature, or does he only have personal feature?
Yeah, he is actually having. He has a personal form, Maharaj, and the effulgence from his body is spread everywhere. So that is the light.
All right. So sometimes people are fond of worshiping the energy. They like the idea of energy, you know. This idea of energy is very attractive to people. That, oh, energy, the Lord is all-pervading energy. People are fond of thinking of God in this impersonal way. They think if God is a person, if he's a person, then he must be a person like us.
Yes.
They cannot understand his nature as the Supreme Lord. So it's important to try to understand the personal aspect of the Lord, not just simply that.
Yes.
And when we hear that he's everywhere, so we think then, you know, then he's not a person, because how could, if he's everywhere, then he couldn't be in one place. But this is the inconceivable nature of the Supreme Lord, that he can be distributed everywhere. And in what way is he distributed everywhere?
In his energy.
Can you tell us? Can you give some example of his energy?
Yes, Maharaj, like the sun and.
Well, the sun is not everywhere.
Marriage. As Paramatma, he's present in every atom.
Right, Paramatma, right, Paramatma. What does Krishna say in the Bhagavad Gita? In chapter 10, Lord Krishna is describing, you know, the 10th chapter Bhagavad Gita. What's the title?
The opulences of the Lord, Maharaj, Vibhutis.
Okay, Vibhuti Yoga, yeah. And Krishna describes all of his opulences, and after he's described all of them, he says, but what need is there, O Arjuna, for all of this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire creation. Right? What is that fragment? What is that fragment of Krishna? Which is pervading and supporting the entire creation? You just told me.
Paramatma.
Yes, right. Paramatma, right. You just told me. Yeah. So with the Paramatma feature, is pervading and supporting the entire creation. And Krishna said, he said, everything rests on me. Right? There's no truth superior to me. Everything rests on me, just like pearls are strung on a thread. And Krishna gives the example about the beads on the thread, just like we have our neck beads. You don't see the thread, you only see the beads. So the same way we see everything, we see the whole universe, the whole creation, we don't see Krishna. But Krishna is behind everything, he's holding everything. The planets are being held in space by him. Everything is in under his control, under his grasp. But at the same time, he's very cautious. He doesn't reveal himself to everyone. So we have to understand how the Lord is everywhere, impersonally, and then he has he has his personal existence. He's both personal and impersonal. As Prabhupada said, he is everything within our experience and beyond it. So remember the example about the elephants, the blind man massaging the elephant?
Yes, Maharaj.
Right? They understand some part of the elephant. So some people, they only understand the impersonal feature of God. They think this is God, this, the energy, right? The Brahman, the Mayavadis, the Jnanis, they say Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma. Everything is Brahman. And they think when Krishna comes in the world, that he is also Brahman. But they don't understand that the Krishna is not simply Brahman, but he is Para Brahman. He's the supreme Brahman. So the problem is they're trying to understand God according to their capacity for understanding. According to their capacity to understand. They try to understand God. It's not like that. God is Krishna, the Supreme Lord, the Absolute Truth is beyond our capacity to understand. How can we understand him?
Only by his devotees' mercy we can understand.
By mercy, his mercy, he can reveal himself to us. And we get his mercy when we do devotional service. So the Supreme Lord is not subject to our limited capacity for understanding. It is for this reason the Upanishads warn us, no one can approach the Lord by his own limited potency. So the Upanishads are telling us like this. We are limited. The Lord is unlimited. We want to understand him. We have to take shelter. We have to surrender to him. And when he's pleased by our surrender, he can reveal himself to us. So the Upanishads are warning us, don't try to understand God by our own efforts. Remember, when we were reading the introduction, it spoke about two processes. One was, do you remember the two processes?
Yes, Maharaj.
Yes.
Aroga Bandhana Tirubanga Gopan. Aroga
Yes.
Bandhana, Aparoga Bandhana.
Yes, can you give me the English?
By our own material senses, trying to understand the Lord is one type. The another one, following Guru Sadhu Shastra and the footstep of previous Acharya, understanding the God.
Yes, or we would simply say one is the ascending process and one is the descending process, right? Ascending is what are we trying to do by the ascending process? How are we trying to understand? Maraji, can you tell us if we're going by the ascending process? Sri Rupa Mataji?
Yes, Maharaj.
If we're going by the ascending process, then how are we trying to understand God? What are we doing?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
No, let Mataji try. Give her more time. Any answer? No? Okay, Prabhu, what's the answer? All right, we open it to the class. Someone's trying to understand God by ascending process. How do they try to understand God? What do they do?
Guru Parampara.
One word.
Guru Parampara, that is authentic.
No, ascending.
They want to understand by mind.
On their own study.
One word.
Speculation.
Yes, speculation. Thank you. Speculation. This is speculation. The ascending process. Is God like this? Is he like that? Is he like this? Speculation. Trying to understand by the power of our mind. And the descending process, that is Sadhu Shastra Guru. The knowledge comes, we take it. Guru says like this, Guru says like, Shastra said like that. Okay, accept it. Descending. Which is easier? Going up or coming down?
Coming down, Maharaj.
Yes, going down is easy, right? There's two creatures. One is the kitten, and one is the monkey. You know, the monkey carries the baby monkey. How does the baby monkey hold on to the mother? Have you seen the monkeys in Vrindavan?
Yes, Maharaj.
How does the young monkey? What do they do?
The young monkeys will be holding their mothers.
Right, they hold on to the chest of the mother, right?
Yes, Maharaj.
But they can easily fall. They're not very secure. But what about the kitten with the cat?
The cat will be holding the kitten with its mouth.
Right, in the jaws of the kitten's in the jaws of the. So who's safer, the monkey or the kitten?
Kitten, Maharaj.
Yes, a kitten, right. So we're like that. We're safer. We're coming down. You see, taking down. Okay. Go ahead. Someone else can read. Let's have a Prabhu read. Have we got some men to read it? Aranakshagor. Huh?
Arunakshagora.
Yeah, Aranakshagora. Prabhu, would you like to read?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. In the Bhagavad Gita 10.2.
In the Bhagavad Gita 10.2, the Lord says that not even the great rishis and suras can know him. And what to speak of the asuras, for whom there's no question of understanding the way of the Lord. The fourth mantra of Sri Isopanisad very clearly suggests that the absolute truth is ultimately the absolute person. Otherwise, the would have been no need to mention so many details in support of his personal features.
Okay, what were some of these personal features? What were these details which were mentioned to support his personal features? Look at the text, mantra 4. What does it say?
It was told that the Lord is present everywhere through his through his super soul form.
Well, we want to support his personal features. If he's present everywhere, that doesn't help us to understand his personal features.
It has explained in the Bhagavad Gita, he is present everywhere. So, but it is only.
Look in the mantra, mantra 4. Right? Some details to support his personal features. First of all, it said he has an abode, his abode.
Yes, Maharaj.
And he can overcome all others running. Means he can run. Right?
Yes, Maharaj.
He's in one place, but he controls others. So these are all personal attributes. He has a controlling power, he can run, he has an abode, he's swift. Like these are, we want to understand these are descriptions of his personal features. So great rishis and sages, they don't know him. Why?
Because they try to understand through the impersonal features only.
Yeah, maybe. Because maybe they're not devotees. They didn't do devotional service. They didn't follow the process. They tried to understand him by their own mind and senses. There may be great rishis and suras, but the Lord is unlimited, infinite. Look, they're limited editions. So how much can they know of him? You can know a little. So for the asuras, it's even more difficult. Okay, so we'll go ahead. Somebody else to read. Let's see, next year we have. Yes, what's your name, Prabhu?
Tirubanga Gopal Das, Prabhu.
What about Saswan Chaitanya?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yes, Prabhu, you please read.
Yeah. Although the individual parts and parcels of the Lord's potencies have all the symptoms of the Lord himself, they have limited spheres of activity and are therefore all limited. The parts and parcels are never equal to the whole. Therefore, they cannot appreciate the Lord's full potency. Under the influence of material nature, foolish and ignorant living beings who are but parts and parcels of the Lord try to conjecture about the Lord's transcendental position. Sri Isopanisad warns of the futility of trying to establish the identity of the Lord through mental speculation. One should try to learn of the transcendence from the Lord himself, the supreme source of the Vedas. For the Lord alone has full knowledge of the transcendence. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yes. So, give me a summary. What did you appreciate from this?
So, individual parts and parcel is a Lord's potency only. You can see that Mamai Vamsho Jivaloke in the Bhagavad Gita it says, Mamai Vamsho Jivaloke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. So, all living entities are parts and parcels of the Lord.
Okay. So we're one in we're part of the Lord. So what's the difference between
We have the we have the limited the spheres of activities, but God is the Vibhu. We are the Anu.
Okay.
We cannot parts and parcel is not never equal to the whole. Whole that the supreme absolute truth.
Yeah, right. That's an idea that we're part but never equal to the whole. One in quality, different in quantity.
Yeah, quantity. Yes, Maharaj.
And we're the marginal potency. Marginal potency means what? What's the margin? Margin between what?
Margin is the living entities.
Yes, but what are the margin? Where's the margin means that margin between two things. What's on the other sides? What's the margin between
between the Paramatma and material energy.
Between the material energy on one side and on the other side is what?
Others is spiritual energy.
The spiritual energy, right. So we're the living entities, we're the marginal. So where are we? Are we in the spiritual energy or the marginal? You know, we can't just stay. Yeah? Where are
yes,
we?
Maharaj. We are in the neutral, in the marginal energy.
No, you can't remain in the marginal. You can't remain there. Either you're in the material or in the spiritual. Just like you come to India and you go to Pakistan, there's a border. Now either you're in India or you're in Pakistan. You can't just be in the border all the time, can you? You're either in the land or you're in the water. You can't be on the border all the time. You have to be one or the other. So marginal, where are we?
We are in the
Now we are in
we are in the material energy.
Yes, yeah, Prabhupada said. Under the influence of material nature. We're under the material energy. We're the foolish and ignorant people under the material energy. But we are parts of the Lord. We try to conjecture, we try to understand, we think about the Lord's transcendental position. The Sri Isopanisad warns of the futility to establish the identity of the Lord through mental speculation. So, can we understand the Lord through mental speculation?
No, we cannot understand fully with the mental speculation.
Can we understand anything about the Lord through mental speculation? Where can we go? What's the furthest we can go? The Jnani. Where can they go?
Jnani can go meditate up to the Paramatma feature.
Brahma.
You can go to the Brahman, the Brahma Jyoti, impersonal liberation. They can go that far, but they can't go any further. Right? One should try to learn of the transcendence from the Lord Himself, the supreme source of the Vedas. The Lord alone has full knowledge of the transcendence. So we have to learn from the Lord Himself. How to do that? Where's the Lord? How can we learn from the Lord? What
through the
Shastra.
Vedas.
Yeah.
Vedas.
Bhagavad Krishna spoke, Bhagavad Gita, right? The source of the Vedas. By all the Vedas, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, what does he say about the Vedas? You know the verse? Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, verse 15.
Vedesh sarve hameva vedyo.
Vedesh sarve.
Vedesh sarve hameva vedyo.
Okay, meaning?
Vedanta krit veda videha chaham.
Meaning? Give me the meaning in English.
I am the one who is compiler of the Vedas, and all the Vedas are meant to know me.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Krishna is saying, I'm the author and I am the compiler of the Vedas. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. So this is the idea. We want to understand Krishna. We can understand him from the Vedas. We'll go ahead. Somebody else to read. Next person. We've got
Maharaj.
Sundar Chandra.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. I am Sudarshan.
Okay, Prabhu. Please read for us.
Every part and parcel of the complete whole is endowed with some particular energy to act according to the Lord's will. When the part and parcel entity forgets this particular activities under the Lord's will, he is considered to be in Maya or illusion. Thus, from the very beginning, Sri Isopanisad warns us to be very careful to play the part designated for us by the Lord. This does not mean that the individual soul has no initiative of his own, because he is part and parcel of the Lord. He must partake of the initiative of the Lord as well. When a person properly utilizes his initiative or active nature with the intelligence, understanding that everything is the Lord's potency, he can revive his original consciousness, which was lost due to association with Maya, the external energy. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Yes. Problem.
Yes, Prabhu, would you like to tell us, Prabhu, what is some point
Yeah,
from this?
Lord says here, in Upanishad, Isopanisad says, warns that we as a marginal potency, we have to take some initiative. Means we have to utilize the intelligence. Means we have to do some initiative to get rid of this. That means we have to do devotional service.
Right.
To get rid of Maya.
What was the effect of the Maya? What happened?
Illusion.
And what is that illusion? With it, what happens?
We forget our this one, our nature, our real constitutional position.
Our spiritual position, right?
Yes, spiritual.
And under illusion, what are we thinking?
We are in this body and we work for Maya.
Right. We're thinking, I'm the body. And we're thinking also, I can enjoy the body. Right? How will we enjoy the body? How do we enjoy the body?
Through senses.
Yes, through the senses. And what are the senses doing? Eating, sleeping, mating, defending. Like that. This is the enjoyment of the body. So Isopanisad warns us to be very careful to play the part which we're meant to be doing. We have to, as you said, we have to use our initiative. It's not that we're not supposed to think for ourselves. Yeah, we have to use our initiative, but that initiative has to be used in conjunction with the initiative of the Supreme Lord. That is like yoga. Yoga means to connect, to link, right? We are the part and parcel of the Lord. So we want to connect with the Lord because we are part of Him. We have a relationship, a connection with Him. And we want to connect. And that's, we use our initiative to cooperate with the initiative of the Lord. And when we use the initiative properly, then everything, that understanding that everything is the Lord, then we can get back our original consciousness. What is the original consciousness?
Servator. I am the servant of Lord.
Right. Shiverswarapahaya Nitya Krishna Das. Right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, we're all eternally the servants of the Supreme Lord. But due to contact with Maya, we forgot. We became covered. The example was given about the sunlight and darkness. Right? As soon as we put out the light, immediately the darkness is there. So Maya is like that. In the same way, as soon as we become Krishna conscious, immediately the light's there. Krishna Suryasam, Maya Haya Andika. There's Krishna and there's Maya. There's the sunlight and there's the darkness. So the natural condition is to be in the light. The absence of the light, we're in darkness. That our natural position is to be Krishna conscious. But due to Maya, we are forgetting. This is the external potency of the Lord. External energy, Maya, right? The material world is all Maya. It's all the Lord's external energy. It's real, but it's temporary. All right, we'll go ahead. One more verse. One more paragraph here.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. All power is obtained from the Lord. Therefore, each particular power must be utilized to execute the will of the Lord and not otherwise. The Lord can be known by one who has adopted such a submissive service attitude. Perfect knowledge means knowing the Lord in all his features, knowing his potencies, and knowing how these potencies work by his will. These matters are described by the Lord in the Bhagavad Gita, the essence of all the Upanishads. Hare Krishna.
Okay. All power is obtained from the Lord. Therefore, each must be utilized to execute the will of the Lord. Right? We said Krishna is the proprietor or the Supreme Lord. That Supreme Lord is the proprietor. Everything belongs to him. So the power is also his. So whatever powers we have, that also belongs to him. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, I am the ability in man. So our ability is given to us by the grace of God. We're meant to use it for him. And at any time, he can take it away from us. So the Lord can be known by one who has adopted a submissive service attitude. In other words, surrender, right? The mood of service and surrender. When we become submissive, then we will surrender ourselves and we will want to offer some service. And this way Krishna becomes pleased, it reveals himself. And then perfect knowledge means knowing the Lord in all of his features. What are some of the features of the Lord? You remember? What are some of the different features?
There's Brahman, Paramatma, and Super.
Yes, right. These are the three. This is the absolute truth. Right? Srimad Bhagavatam said, learned persons call the absolute truth Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. This non-dual substance, non-dual, it's the same thing. Learned transcendentalists call this non-dual substance Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. Different features of the Lord. It's all the Lord, but different features. Knowing his potencies and knowing how these potencies work by his will. Potencies, what kind of potencies does the Lord have? What can he do?
He's all pervading.
no, how will he use his potencies? They work by his will. What does he do? He does the work of creation, right? Shristi Tattva, the Shristi Tattva, that potency to create. It brings about the creation. It's going on under his direction. This is one of his potencies. He also has the potency to give pleasure. And he also has the potency to give knowledge. This is all his different potencies. And it's working, these potencies are working by his will, simply by his will alone. These matters are described in Bhagavad Gita, the essence of all your Upanishads, right? Okay. So any questions on this mantra tonight? Let's hear. We're hearing about the Lord, how he's in his abode. So he has a abode, and he can run. Powerful demigod. How many demigods are there? Material world. How many demigods are there?
33 crores.
33 crores, right? A lot of demigods, powerful. And many of them are very powerful, but they're not as powerful as the personality of Godhead, the Supreme Lord. They cannot even approach him, right? We read in the 10th canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, or in the Krishna book. If you read the Krishna book, you read at the time before Lord Krishna's appearance, Mother Bhumi was overwhelmed by the burden of all the kings on her planet. So what did she do? Who did she go to?
She went to Brahma Maharaj.
Yes, she went to Brahma for help. And then what did Brahma do?
Brahma took her to Vishnu.
Yeah,
Who Devi took as the Gomata and
yes.
the Brahma.
And they went to the shore of Swetadweep, right? On
Yes,
the shore of, and they prayed, Brahma prayed to Lord Vishnu. Shirodakashaya Vishnu, right? There are three
Yes,
Vishnus, actually. So the demigods, they cannot even approach the Supreme Lord. They have to go and pray, oh, my Lord, we need your help. Can you help us? When they're in trouble, the demigods will pray to the Lord. And the Lord will come and help them. Just like the Lord came as when Bali Maharaj conquered the demigods, they were in trouble. They lost their kingdom. And Mother Aditi, she prayed to get a son. And so she got Lord Vamanadev as her son. And Lord Vamanadev helped the demigods to get back the heavenly planets. So the demigods, they cannot even approach the Lord. Are the demigods pure devotees?
No, Maharaj.
Why not?
Because they are serving the Lord for the purpose, and they're having in the spiritual, not in the spiritual world. They're in the material world only.
Well, pure devotees can be in the material world also. It's not that pure devotees, because they're in this world that can't be pure. There are pure devotees in this world. So what's the point about the demigods? You're right, they're not pure devotees. What's their problem?
They have a desire for enjoying.
Yes, right.
Yes, enjoying propensity.
They like to enjoy power.
And they are not doing a pure devotional service.
Right, they're not doing pure, but at the same time, what's a good quality?
They are serving the Supreme Lord.
Yes, they're obedient to the Lord, right? But they're not pure devotees. They have some material desires. So how do we view the demigods? What's the devotee's position in relationship to demigods?
The, the devotees are more superior than the demigods in worshipping the Supreme Lord.
So should we respect the demigods or not? Do we respect the demigods? Are you going to respect them? Are you going to respect the demigods or not?
Yeah, we have to respect them, but we should not worship them for the benefit of material benefits.
We don't worship them for material benefits. We can worship them to help our devotional service. If we see them in relationship to the Supreme Lord, then you can worship them, right? Bharat Maharaj did that. He was worshiping the demigods, but he saw them in relation to the Supreme. And the gopis worship Katyayani to get Krishna as a husband for the pleasure of Krishna. Okay, so we're cautious. We offer respects to the demigods, so that's important. That we actually, I was with Prabhupada one time. We went to a Hindu temple in London, and they were worshipping Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. And Srila Prabhupada explained to them, he said, a devotee of Krishna not only offers his respects to Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, they will offer the respect even to a tiny insect, because they see within the insect, the Lord is also there. Just as the Lord is within the heart of Brahma and Shiva and Vishnu, he's also in the heart of all the living entities, the tiny insects. So we respect all living entities. Prabhupada said like that. Okay, so powerful demigods, they cannot approach Krishna on their own. At the same time, the Lord is in one place and he controls all these demigods. They're under his control. So he has this controlling power. We have very small controlling power. We're trying to control, but we're failing. We're always failing. We cannot even control our mind. We cannot control our bowels sometimes. We have so many troubles trying to control. So the Lord, he controls. He surpasses everybody in excellence. All right? Any question? Is it clear?
Pranam Maharaj.
Yes, Prabhu.
Maharaj, Lord Shiva is considered a pure Vaishnav. He is the topmost Vaishnav, but he is a demigod. So he is a pure devotee.
Lord Shiva is not a jiva. He's above the jivas. Lord Shiva is like God of the material world. In the material world, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva are God. The relationship between Vishnu and Shiva is described to be like that between milk and yogurt. So milk can be made into yogurt, but yogurt cannot be made into milk. So Vishnu, he can become Shiva, but Shiva never becomes Vishnu. So Shiva he's not only a pure devotee, but he's also actually non-different from the Lord himself. He's given the respect of the Supreme Lord. He's respected like God. So we're very careful in dealing with Lord Shiva. Sanatana Goswami was a great devotee of Lord Shiva. You know Sanatana Goswami?
Yes.
One of the 6 Goswamis resided in Vrindavan. He built the Madan Mohan temple. He was a great devotee of Lord Shiva. And you'll find a lot of glorification of Shiva in his Brihad Bhagavatamrita. So Lord Shiva he's both the pure devotee and he's also the Supreme Lord himself. We respect Lord Shiva like God, because he's God of the material world.
Thank you.
He's not Jiva Tattva, and he's not Vishnu Tattva. He's between the Jiva Tattva and the Vishnu Tattva. So on Shivratri, Vaishnavas, they may celebrate it, they may not. It's arbitrary. They can decide. They can choose for themselves whether to observe Shivratri or not. Sometimes they do, sometimes not. Prabhupada was very cautious about introducing Lord Shiva into the ISKCON society. And I remember one time we had the temple, we were opening the temple in Hyderabad, in Andhra Pradesh. And one devotee said, you know, Prabhupada, let's put Shiva Linga here. Because our temple in Hyderabad, they have Gornitai, they have Radha Madan Mohan, and they have Jagannath Baladev Subhadra. But this one devotee said to Prabhupada, he said, Prabhupada, he said, people in this city, they all like Lord Shiva. If we put a Shiva Linga here, everybody will come. Prabhupada said, yes, but he said, if we do that, they'll think Lord Shiva is the same as all the deities. They'll think Lord Shiva is on the same level as all the deities. But he's not. He's not on the same level as Gornitai or Radha Madan Mohan or Jagannath Baladev Subhadra. He's different from that. He's between Vishnu Tattva and Jiva Tattva. He's not ordinary living entity either, but he's above ordinary living entities and he's below the level of the Supreme Lord. So Prabhupada, yeah, he didn't like, you know, he was very cautious. He didn't want people, every other temple you see, they put all the gods. And people think all the gods are the same. They're all one. They don't see any difference. This is the problem. Yes, another question?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Dandavat Pranam. Maharaj, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Prabhu, yes.
Maharaj, this is the question regarding the Jiva Tattvas. We have already studied in this class that the Jivas, all the Jivatmas are the creation of the Lord's marginal potencies. Maharaj, can you please, I want to know, I want to understand what are the Nitya Baddha Jivas and what are Nitya Mukta Jivas? Because there are some conditioned souls I have read, which are eternally unconditioned souls. So the Mukta Jibba, Baddha, Mukta Jibbas are eternally Mukta. So are they under the influence of marginal potency or not?
The Nitya Muktas, are they still the marginal potency?
Yeah, yes.
Yes, they're still the marginal potency. But when they go to the spiritual world, then, you know, they can be also Nitya Muktas, eternally liberated souls. But it doesn't change the fact that they're the marginal potency. By nature, they're the marginal potency, Tatastha Shakti. But they can still be Nitya Muktas, liberated souls. Eternally liberated means you have no defects, right? And the Nitya Baddhas, they're eternally conditioned souls. The Nitya Baddhas can also become Nitya Muktas. It's not that because you're Nitya Baddha, you have to remain a Nitya Baddha. Nitya Baddhas, the conditioned souls, can become liberated souls. They can become liberated. They can become Nitya Muktas. by devotional service, by the process of devotional service. The conditioned souls become liberated souls. The term nitya indicates that we've been in the material world a very long time. Not that you have to remain here, but it simply implies that we've been here a very, very long time. And we can get free from that. And Nitya Mukta means they're liberated. They come into the material world, they're liberated. So Nitya Mukta. But still the marginal potency, Tatastha Shakti, that remains. So Nitya Mukta soul, they can fall from the spiritual world. We have that free will. Yes?
Thank you, Maharaj.
Any other question? Okay, no other questions? Then we'll stop here tonight. Let you all go. Thank you very much for your time. And we'll meet again Sunday evening.
Yes, Maharaj. Sunday evening, Maharaj.
Okay.
7:30. Thank you, Maharaj. His Holiness Bhakti Vigna Vinashana Narasimha Maharaj, Swami Maharaj ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyo patitanam pavanebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for all your participation. See you. We all meet again on Sunday, 7:30 p.m. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyo patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Chidanand Prabhu, can we end the meeting?
Sure, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Bol. Balram Kinkar Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, is it possible that today morning and afternoon sessions recording can be shared?
All recordings, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, first of all, you came late, Prabhuji, today.
Yeah.
Morning, Prabhu.
Morning, I came late. Yeah, I had to go to office, Prabhuji.
Okay. Not attending the Guru Maharaj presence in Bahrain.